Hello, I'm Dr. Shafkat Tawhid, and I'm Director of the Reading Communities Connecting the Past and the Present project. I'm really interested in readers from the past, and together with colleagues, I'm here in Belfast running a series of workshops and events to connect today's readers, contemporary members of the public, with their equivalents from the past. But we know relatively little about people in Northern Ireland as readers. What books did they read? How were their ideas shaped? What can we find out about their ways of thinking, about their identity from the books that they read? Northern Ireland has a great historical tradition of producing world-famous writers. Seamus Heaney, Brian Friel, Louis MacNeice, Joyce Carey, Flann O'Brien and C.S. Lewis were all born and raised in Northern Ireland. Belfast has important historical libraries and a long-standing culture of reading and creative writing. One of the world's most famous writers born in Belfast was the author of the Narnia books, C.S. Lewis. He was not only a prolific writer, but also from childhood a prodigious reader. C.S. Lewis kept detailed records of his reading throughout his life, especially in his letters. Much of this information is now available in the Reading Experience database. Now, Patricia, you've been working on the reading of C.S. Lewis, haven't you? What sources have you been using to find out about C.S. Lewis's reading?
I've been using his letters, which are now available in 3 volumes. So far as I know, every single one of his letters that has survived is included, and also a diary which he kept when he was a young man from 1922 to 1927. And that's about as far as I've got, but in that short time I've identified more than 700 separate reading experiences.
Does he say much about his reading in his letters?
He does indeed. I have one here to his great friend Arthur Greaves. A few pleasantries, and then to the real business of the letter. Now to books. He talks about good stodgy books like Scott and Thackeray. Then he goes on to what is really interesting him. I am now at Milton's Comus, which is an absolute dream of delight. I'm sure you would love it. It's like a play written on an episode from the Fairy Queen, all magic and distressed ladies and haunted woods.
Now, C.S. Lewis was born in Belfast, wasn't he? And he spent his childhood in Northern Ireland, but then left for England at quite a young age. Was he ever homesick for Northern Ireland?
Yes, I think he was. He lived in England, in fact, from his later school days, lived all his adult life in England. But I have another letter here, again to his friend Arthur Greaves, this time written in 1931. Do or die for it. I must manage to get over to Ireland in the summer and revisit some of our old haunts with you. If he was asked, I think he would say, England is where I live, but home is Northern Ireland.
But it wasn't just famous writers who recorded their reading. Ordinary people in Northern Ireland also left traces of their reading in papers, diaries, parish records and census returns. As part of our event in Belfast, we're encouraging today's readers to connect with readers from the past in some of Northern Ireland's numerous local history archives.
I'm here today with Dr. Janice Holmes, who is an expert in the local history of Northern Ireland. Now, you've brought some fascinating archival evidence with you today. What have you brought, and what does it show us about the history of ordinary people reading in Northern Ireland?
Well, the book I have here today is the account of the travels of a man called John Gamble. He was a Presbyterian and he was trained as a doctor, and recounted his travels in a series of books which were really quite popular, published between 1810 and 1818.
So where do ordinary readers fit into this picture?
Well, he's mainly encountering books in the inns and the hostelries where he's staying. He would quite often arrive at an inn of an evening and invite the landlord to show or share his books with him. And he would then read or peruse those. And the books that he encounters are quite often a mishmash. He's very much encountering people for whom books are happen chance in their lives.
Do we get a picture of what the ordinary reader was consuming at any given time?
Yes, Gamble's quite good at that. The Bible obviously features, newspapers do as well, pamphlets, ballads, popular poetry that were very cheap to purchase would have also circulated widely. But of course we also see the emergence and the growing popularity of the novel. They aren't any novels that we would recognize today, but others like Moll Flanders and Robinson Crusoe would have also been popular.
But how do contemporary Northern Irish readers relate to these voices from the past? We staged a series of hands-on activities and readings to do just this. Join us and find out more.